Kiflon, brothers, Sean here coming back at y'all again. So today we're going to be covering a bunch of different stuff. A lot of y'all been asking about how to convert ISOs to GOD images or extract them. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. Also going to be covering how to play original Xbox games, and going to be covering a little bit of how to get trainers too for certain games. So yeah, without further ado, let's go. Okay, so there are a few methods to getting your ISO image into a playable format for the Xbox 360. Now, the first method, and my personal preferred, is going to be using this XISO extract software. This one I think helps keeps things clean and organized, but if you just want to follow along or watch and see how this one works compared to the GOD, you can go ahead and do that and skip ahead to the other one if you'd like. But if you're going to follow along, download this one right here. Links for everything obviously in the description below. Okay, folks, so after you download that and extract the archive, you'll be left with these files right here. What we'll do is we'll open up Xbox 360 ISO extract, and here we are. This is the program. So as you can see, you got ISO folder and destination. You got buttons over here for those. Everything else we'll just leave as is. But the ISO folder, that's what I have pulled up over here. So you can see I got a couple ISO images in here. But so we will click this button and go ahead and find it, either that or you could just copy and paste the file explorer URL. And as you can see, our two ISO images are showing up. If there were more, there'd be a whole list here. One thing to note is the name. I don't know why it's like kind of smushed. Usually you can extend it, but the names here, they just say ISOs. Now, whenever you're extracting a bunch of ISOs, you can actually double click and change the name, and you're going to want to do that. So, but just go ahead and rename it to what the game actually is. So that way there's no issue when extracting them. So what I do is I just come up in here, copy and paste. Oh, there we go. See that? Stretched out. Not sure if there is a setting for that. I haven't looked too far into the README, in all honesty. And then we'll just go ahead and choose a destination. Now I am going to rip them directly to my external hard drive, which is actually right here. So I'll open this in a new tab. And as you can see, I already have a games folder set up in here with a bunch of extracted ISOs. But say if this was your Xbox 360 like USB or, you know, another external hard drive or something, or you could even transfer them over the network using FileZilla as I showed in the last video. But you just want to make a folder, call it whatever you want, and then paste that in for the destination. And once you do that, you can go ahead and hit go, and then it's going to start extracting the ISO images and moving them to the disk. So yeah, and those actually finished fairly quickly. So what we can do is we go to our hard drive, and we will see two folders called such. So Bully and Capcom Digital Collection, that's what I did. And if we come up in here, you can see it's just the raw game files. And then what we do from here is in Aurora, we just add a path for the games folder. And if you already have the path there, then you just hit scan and it will show up on the 360. But that is the XISO extract method. And next up, we will move on to the GOD method. So the next method of converting your ISO image would be to use ISO to GOD, which stands for Games on Demand. And that basically makes it so that Xbox treats it as if it was a digital copy of that game. So what we can do is I click the link in the description. It'll take you to this GitHub page. And we will go ahead and click this first zip file. And you'll just have these 4 files in there. So go ahead and extract the archive. And I've already done that. So yeah, as you can see, there's a games list for the regular Xbox and the Xbox 360. And then here's the application itself. And we don't talk about this. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click iso2god.exe. And it's kind of like the last program where you could do like a whole batch of ISOs. So what we can do here is, got my ISO images folder right here. So let's go ahead and add ISO. And we'll do Bully again. And as you can see, there's a title ID, media ID, and all that. We don't really need to touch anything here. One thing I forgot to mention is that for the outputs, that is where your files are going to go to. So make sure you have enough storage space because it's just going to create it in the directory that ISO2God is located at. Just click add. And then we can just go ahead and hit convert, and it will convert it all and keep it into the directory. So this is just on my desktop. So if you were doing like a whole batch, I'd say move this folder. For the video's sake, I'm just going to hit convert. Okay, so that has finished up. And as you can see, if we go into here, we got ISO is empty and then GOD. And as you can see, we get these weird folder names. So this one was from an earlier take, so we ignore that. And then there's this one right here, which is definitely our bully game. And yeah, so as you can see, this is what the files look like. It's just data files all split up like that. But then what we would do from here is we would take this whole folder named this, and then we'll go to our USB or external hard drive or however you want to get it to your Xbox. Go into the content folder, the folder with 16 zeros, and then we'll just drag and drop this over. Let it transfer. And for those of you wondering what this like weird combo is, it's the title ID of the video game. As you can see, if we just take that title ID, come up into this Word document or Excel spreadsheet that they gave us. As you can see, that title ID matches Bully Scholarship Edition. So this is why I prefer to use the ISO extract method. So that way we can actually deal with names instead of a code. Because how do you tell what's what with this? So also, I just figured I'd mention, if you're a fan of the ISO to GOD method, there's also a script you can download in the repo browser to convert disks to GOD images. And I just wanted to show it out here real quick. Quick note about ISO to GOD is that it works natively with Xbox games, like original Xbox. I got Thrillville here. This is on the original Xbox. Also not sure if it's .xiso or just a regular .iso image. But either way, as you can see, Thrillville has its own title ID. Click add, boom, you hit convert, and that's original Xbox games right there for you guys. Alright, so next up on the list is going to be trainers. So go to the link provided in the description below. It will take you to this GitHub repository for a bunch of trainers actually. But we'll come over here, we'll go on to releases. And you will see a supported games list here. This is all the games included. This file is only like 40 megabytes, so it's not that large. But you go ahead and download the first .zip file here. Let that download and just go ahead and extract it to your desktop. And inside of there, you will find an Aurora folder, eventually leading to a bunch of game ID folders, each containing their own .xex file for the corresponding game. And then what we can do is we can go to our USB, and we will head into the apps folder and then Aurora. And from here, we can go back to that other folder we were just in. And we will grab the user folder out of here and just drag and drop it over to our USB one. And this will copy all those game ID folders and all the .xex files we need. And once that's done copying, you can go ahead and eject your USB and then just plug it back into the Xbox. Okay, so back here on the Xbox, and one thing I do want to say is that you should probably disable the Nova module. So go into settings and in modules here and then the Nova one. Either that or change these buttons right here, because start and back is how you use most of the trainers in their menu. So I'm just going to go ahead and just disable that. And then we will go back, press Y, and under the launch button, we will press the left D-pad and it will bring us over to trainer. And we could press that, and as you can see, here's our trainer. Now, one thing, the website did say this, some of these might not be compatible with like the latest title update or certain title updates, so just be aware of that. So it won't actually let me launch this just yet, but if we press Y, we can see what compatible title update it is on or needs to be on. And then we can press A to configure. And these are all the options you get for cheats that you can enable. For Call of Duty, obviously MP is multiplayer, then SP is like single player. You'll see that later. Alright, so we're just going to enable all of these just to see if they'll work. And if you're like me where it's grayed out and it won't let you load it, what you can do is you go back And then we will go down one to title updates, press A, and installed as title update 18. So we'll just enable that real quick. And then we'll go back to that trainer menu and hit launch on that. And as you can see, we get our little pop-up there letting us know our trainer menu is in fact active, or single player, I think is what it said, SP. And take note of the trainer activate buttons. It is start and back, so that is why we disabled that module from earlier. And I'll actually just go into multiplayer here. MP search complete. Yeah, see now it's saying player. Okay, so now I'm gonna just start up a game before my Elgato craps out on me again. By default, did grenades. And if we press start and back, as you can see, there's 1 and 2. 1 is usually for single player, 2 is usually for multiplayer. Brings up this menu right here. Which cheat you want to activate, so we'll get rid of super speed, I think. Yeah, that should disable it. Moving on to playing original Xbox games, go to this consolemods.org, a link in the description below. It will take you to this page that contains HDD partition fixer and also an original Xbox games compatibility list that you can see here. Now what this list contains is a list of every game and its state of playability on each version of Zifu, it is called, which is like what runs the backwards compatible software, I guess. But yeah, there's a bunch of games up in here listed in detail on what's compatible and what's not. But we'll go back to this other page and download this HDD partition fixer. In hindsight, I want to mention that you can actually download this off of the Homebrew store, which I will show off later. Now, something else you can check out right here are these 3 links. Media Hack to Zifu, Hack Zifu, and an unmodified retail Zifu. Now those are the emulator packs. So these will go on the HDDX partition. And there's 2 ways of getting them there. You could either download them from this website right here, right now, or you could get them on the Xbox later on, which I will show both ways. But for right now, I'm going to show you how to download them through the website. And yeah, there's different versions. You can pick which one you want. You can read through. For me, I'm just going to go unmodified retail though. Download that as well. Then what you can do with this zip file is go ahead, extract it to your desktop. And then you can open it. And then you can also go ahead and plug in your USB or whatever storage media you're going to use. And you can either move it to a custom folder, like I have this homebrew folder here, up to you, or you can just drag it to the root of the USB, which is what I'm actually going to end up doing. And inside of that zip that I just downloaded, I will just simply drag and drop it over into, I'm actually going to take this one into the homebrew folder, but over to the USB. And then we can eject our USB. All right, everybody, moving back onto the Xbox, we will go ahead and press the back button, go to File Manager, and real quick, you'll see either 1 or 2 partitions. You'll see HDD1, which is like the main format where your games are stored and stuff, or the main partition, I should say. And then there's one for HDDX. Now, if you're seeing this, this means your hard drive should contain the emulator to run like original Xbox games. So you could totally just like skip this step, so you'll be good. But we'll move on down to USB 0. We'll go to HDD Compact Partition Fixer, the default XEX, load that up, take you to this. And now warning, you should do this again only if you don't have that HDDX partition. So we'll press A. Okay, so once it is done, yeah, please note changes will not become active until console has been powered off. So we'll just go ahead and press B to exit. And then, yeah, like it said, you can go ahead and restart the console as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. All right, well, that took a while. So now if we come up in here, File Manager, we should see the HDDX partition. And now I know we already did before, but so there's nothing here. So with this being empty, what we will do is we will drag and drop those Zifu files over from our USB. So we'll go up in here, I move them to my homebrew folder, So I'll go up in here, the retail Zifu pack. And what we'll do from here is press X to check it. We'll hit copy. And what you can also do is you can use the right bumper to go over to a different tab. So that way you don't lose your spot. And then we'll just go to HDDX and paste it in here. Hit yes. And it is good practice to give your console a restart after you do that. But we'll try Pro Skater 4 because I feel safer with that. But yeah, there we go. We got an error. So we'll go ahead and just restart the console. All right, so we'll go ahead and try that again. No. Okay, cool. So a restart didn't work. Well that's pretty cool, dude. Um Open here. We'll just delete this folder then. Don't need that. Okay, so I just plugged in my Ethernet cable. I'm going to show you guys how to download the Zifu files from the Xbox itself. So what we can do here is go into scripts. And as you can see, I already have them here, but Aurora Repo Browser. Come down to utility scripts. Homebrew Store, you're going to want to download this one right here. I'll just install it again. Yeah, sure. And for those of you that looked through that compatibility list and found a game that only works on specific Zifu versions, you're going to want to download this Zifu spoofer as well. They'll let you pick which Zifu to run your specific game. But that's if you need that. So we'll launch the Homebrew Store next. So for those of you that still need the HDD partitioner, if you come up into Homebrew apps, you'll see it right here. You can go ahead and download and install that. And as you can see in the path, it's going to install into the apps directory. So once you have it downloaded, we'll press the back button, go into our file manager here, and go find that apps directory. So HDD1, apps, HDD compatibility fixer, default.xex, and it's the same thing as before. And this is just amazing. So we'll come down to other. And here are those 3 files once again. So I'm going to go with just the regular hack. There's hacked with HUD. I think that's with like the guide, like you'll have the full guide access, which normally isn't there, but I'm not worried about that. So yeah, this will automatically install on the HDDX partition. So we'll just hit yeah. Because the retail one didn't want to work. So there might just be something wrong with the retail, or maybe I'm just messing something up. I'm not 100% sure. All right, cool. So we'll just go back. And yeah, we'll try Pro Skater 4 again. We won't even restart. We'll just try it straight up. And here we go. Yep, got it. But I do want to load into a game just to make sure. Just gonna have to like that. So now we can play original Xbox games. I am gonna have to try Thrillville because that wasn't working. One thing I do want to note is that some Xbox original games, they don't like the resolution 1080p. So if you ever have trouble loading up a original Xbox game for some reason, like, you know, if it's just like a black screen or something, sometimes it can be the resolution. So you just want to lower it either to 480p in the system settings or 720. Because I've had that issue before. Like, I know some of the Tony Hawk games, like some of the older ones, like Pro Skater 2X or 3, won't load unless it's in like 480p resolution. But yeah, Thrillville's working now too, so there we go. I don't even need to load that up. But yeah, because that's further than what we got before. There we go. All right, everybody. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. If it seems kind of messy, I apologize for that. There's just like so much information I wanted to get across to y'all. Obviously, if you have any questions, just leave a comment. I can't tell you where to get games, so for those of y'all that keep asking, stop asking because I can't. It's a sorcerer's secret that I will not reveal. But any other questions related to the video or anything that I might have missed, if you guys are interested in learning about emulators, I could cover that too. I didn't want to put that in this video because I felt like it's already starting to get pretty long. So yeah. Another thing I wanted to say is thank you guys for the recent support. It's just been crazy. You guys are phenomenal. To the commenters, I try to get back to every single one of y'all. I appreciate you guys taking the time, leaving a comment, whether it's a question or just kind words or thank you, you know. Yeah, as for future videos, I got a couple ideas. I do have a Trinity model Xbox. I want to try to RGH on camera. I also want to make probably a quick little tutorial on how to remove parental locks because I had that issue and I had to figure out how to solve it. Probably just going to make that a little short though, honestly. And then I also bought a Wii U gamepad. So the next console I'm probably going to try to mod or like jailbreak would be Wii U, hopefully. But yeah, so hopefully you guys subscribe, stay tuned. Also, if you want to catch me live playing some games, I'd be on Twitch, same username, JaBoyFam. Shameless plug. But I just be over there random. It's random. I don't have a schedule. I just do whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this, and hopefully it all goes well. Peace out.